Yo, what is good, my anime faithful? What is good, yo? So, I don't even know where to start. Let's start with Assassin's Pride. Um, Man, I truly have heard uh, some backlash, and I've heard some praise for this show, so it's already in a position where it kind of can go either way with the fandom, I feel like already. And because of that, um, I don't think it's going to do that bad. Um, in my opinion, I think you should have some people being a little bit critical of your show, and it shouldn't just be a show that, just gets written off as, oh, yeah, it's one person said it's great, and then all the people just follow along saying it's great. No, like we can actually, see that there's some people out there that really didn't care for. I think I'm just gonna call her Angel. They didn't really care for the Angel girl getting her mana, which is understandable. I mean, the whole big plot of the story was she couldn't, like, because she couldn't manifest, she wasn't going to be like anything important amongst this world just because of how they run things. So to all of a sudden see them kind of just give her the power within the very first episode did seem relatively bittersweet. It's like, oh, the reason why she's not a good like fit in this place is because she doesn't have her mana. Oh wait, our main character just gave her her mana. Like, wait, what? So I did understand that, but at the same time, I felt like there had to be some kind of negative thing that came with it, or there had to be something that was not really spoken about truly, because if you truly look at that and you're like, okay, he somehow could give her a way to just unlock her mana. Like, if he has this, why doesn't anyone else? Why is he the only one to have something like this, right? So that got me that got me thinking that regardless of how she was awoken, this awakening might be only temporary, or it could be, her true awakening or whatever. But in my opinion, with what we see towards the end of the episode, they kind of strengthen the point as to why, uh, even though she has gained this power, it's still not that spectacular compared to the person he was trying to compare his student uh, with another girl that he met at the airport and wound up like helping her with her bags and whatever. Of course, he knew who she was, which makes which makes a lot more sense why he was so, I guess, reluctant to, not reluctant, but he was so quick to just handle her bags and stuff, seeing how she's a relatively big named person for being one of the youngest to awaken um, her abilities, right? So because of this, she is much, much higher on the food train. Food train, I said food train. On the food chain, when it comes down to her showing up now and teaching one of these younger students, and because she's one of their teachers now, it should give them a lot more confidence and stuff like that. But the person she's teaching has gotten the class of Paladin, and even though Angel does amazing this week and finally puts up with the one bully that she has, and the bully she had was actually super dumb strong. So it wasn't like she was just getting beat up and messed up by someone weak and not powerful, but she was pretty up there. And not only was she pretty up there, she had a ridiculous amount of mana to pull from. So to think that our girl actually even, pulled out a W in this is pretty crazy in my opinion. So to then see all of that effort she put into that fight and everything she did to even have, uh, us looking at her giving up a fighting chance, we then get the complete polarizing opposite of this reaction, right? Like literally right after we see her do so well, she then does twice or like triple times bad, right? Because this paladin level is absolutely disgustingly strong. So because it's that much more powerful than her, and not only her but her whole entire team, this one paladin just shows up and absolutely destroys this tournament within the mere seconds. The same team that could hold their own against, in one-on-one fights against certain people, now this whole entire team gets soloed by one paladin. Sure, we didn't see it all, but it's pretty obvious what had occurred by the way she was just floating on and chilling, so it's one of those things where you're just kind of like, okay, well, assassin's class is trash, or samurai class, excuse me, is trash, and she probably tried to use, as much techniques and everything she could against this paladin, but I don't think she even fought the girls because they had no battle damage or anything. I think she was so confident and so powerful that she just kind of like slid by. She just kind of flew on by. Maybe got attacked, maybe didn't, but most likely did and just didn't even react to it. So this is one thing I was hoping this show could actually do, and that being make this show actually feel, um, like people were just saying, like, oh, she has her mana now, and that was the only thing that was kind of, stopping her from being anybody important, and then she gets it, but then now that she has it and she wins her first battle and tries to talk to her father, who's like the king and the highest up, he still just is like, oh, well, don't get too cocky over one battle. You still gotta continue getting great and stronger and all this for her to then lose the next time she steps in, So he's 100% right. He just called it out like, oh, you won once, but looks like you just lost, So I had no reason to praise someone who can win one battle and then lose the next. So he's a super trash can dad. And I mean, we kind of saw that coming with how his persona just was, the way he was kind of looking down on our teacher already without even I don't even think they exchanged words before, and he's looking at him like, oh, that's already a failure in my eyes. He couldn't help my daughter get stronger, So really interested in seeing what his overall, wow, I love this area. I'm looking forward to see what his overall role is in this. Like maybe the father is gonna be a problem towards the end, or someone else that wants to assassinate his own daughter or something weird. Cause from what I could see, uh, the person next to him, the person that was like wearing the red and stuff, I'm pretty sure that's the guy our assassin was talking about at one point, who said wanted her dead. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's already in the works, like the father trying to do anything in his power to pretty much make his daughter not one of the people in the public eye. So including if everybody thought she was just about to get embarrassed, imagine what he was feeling if he knew that could be the case, So I'm really interested in seeing if she's just going to, if she's ever going to somehow break out of the samurai class and go to paladin, or is this going to be one of these cases where all of a sudden we're like, oh, samurai class is not that good, and then she makes it so good that people are like, I don't want to be paladin, I want to be a samurai, So Paladins being one of my favorite things out there, like I was like, oh, they want to be a paladin? They want to be like me in Final Fantasy 14, my paladin, or my paladin in Final Fantasy 11? Aw, shucks. Because I was a god with my paladin. But it's funny to see this girl using the Phantom Blade technique that we see in the very first episode that this guy pretty much uses against these jack-o'-lanterns that we also find out who sent the jack-o'-lanterns, being the guy in the bandages and could block bullets with his bandages and even cut up stuff with them. So um, he, for some reason, already knows a good deal, or he doesn't know a good deal and he's a hired, like, on the other side of the spectrum, and because he's hired and needs to take her out, that's the only reason why he's keeping an eye. Because remember, those jack-o'-lanterns were his, so he already made his move in the first episode against her, and we just had no idea it was him until now. So what does that then say about the overall narrative of his role? I'm not sure yet, and who could have tipped him off about this girl to even be attacking her in the first place. That is to be found out as well. So I don't know. I'm interested in seeing like how much the show can grow on me, and the battles were pretty cool. I mean, the girl played it very well that she was still weak and defenseless when really she was getting the edge on this other girl every single time she started letting her emotions fly into the battle. So I like that aspect. Not only that, she was fighting pretty dirty by throwing dirt and just like doing everything in the book to try to get an advantage, which I respect because after all the things she's been put through, why shouldn't she be able to use any tactics at her disposal, and not feel bad about it? Like, she shouldn't feel any type of way. These people were attacking you and making fun of you because you didn't have mana. And this girl goes as far as to cry when she finds out this girl has mana now. She's crying. For what? For what? God, these anime characters kill me sometimes when they're just despicable. But overall, I truly, truly recommend checking out this show. And let me know what you feel, because at this point it's a weird way of translating um, the overall main part of the story. Like, with her gaining the mana, what does this do? I mean, like I said, she gets overpowered by a paladin very quickly. So what is this samurai class capable of achieving in the hands of the royal family, or the people who supposedly have the most talent to control these powers? So with all that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I am your boy, the Anime G, and I will definitely talk to you with a couple more videos today. So I do apologize if they're a little bit later, but I'll get them out to you nonetheless. So with all that, peace.